Have you ever ignored the red flags while dating only to later drastically regret it? To end up in emotional turmoil, to constant battling, to wasted years, to heartbreak, and so forth and so on. Today, I'm going to dive into 10 points that you really need to know that you should never ignore. And these are some red flags that kind of get a lot of us. Hi, my name is Keanon Slade, and I have successfully achieved FIRE. That is, I'm financially independent, retired early, but more than that, I'm here in sunny Costa Rica. And one thing that I love to tell people is it's not just about relocating outside the United States, it's about having a complete holistic picture. And relationships is crucial to that. If you have your utopia experience and you're living to the place you want to be in, but you are in a bad relationship, or you're going to get in a bad relationship because you're like, oh, new life, new people to date, and you end up ignoring these red flags, then it's going to mess up your utopia. So we're going to get into some points that are going to help you on your journey. I want you guys to make sure that you stay to the very end, because these tips are actually going to help you not only to succeed in your journey, but actually be able to thrive. Relationships are really important. Because of that, I also added a free game-changing ebook below entitled 7 Signs You're with a Narcissist. Now, these tools are actually going to help you, and I'm about to provide you with some more. So let's get into the first point. I want to stop you real quick just to say something to my divorced men. If you guys are looking for something that will help you after you've been divorced, separated, heck, even dumped, and you're still looking to move abroad and you're trying to figure out how do you adjust and to deal with this, I want to have something special for you, because honestly, going through that situation, I want to give you something a little bit different, because your journey is different, and you can find that information in the link below. And let's get into the rest of the video. The first point would be they avoid direct questions. And I'm not saying that you should go on the first date and like, how many people have you slept with? And tell me all the worst things. No, I'm not talking about that. But as you're going through the dating situations, you're getting to know them, you're starting to ask direct questions about maybe their past, about maybe their future. If they're avoiding those questions, that can be a red flag. That means they're probably hiding something. So if you're asking them a simple question about their jobs, what have they done in the past, and they can't answer those simple questions, it's not a good sign. It's actually a red flag that maybe there's something that they're ashamed of, and it's probably not going to be good for your relationship to bring those type of things, because they're just going to hide those things. You don't want to end up with a secretive type person. You want to be careful and not avoid that red flag. Another thing that we really should talk about is they're always the victim. Have you ever talked to that person where it's like, oh, it's because of my boyfriend and my parents and my mom and this situation, that situation? There's no winning. They're never going to take responsibility. They're not going to be like, I've learned from that situation, or I've grown, or I did this and that. But they're always the victim. And when they're always the victim, that means when they get in a relationship with you, guess what? They're going to remain the victim. And so no matter if they're right or wrong, or there's an argument that they're at fault at, and we're all making mistakes, but they'll never take ownership. They're going to just push the blame to someone else, which means they're going to not actually have a chance to grow. They're probably not growing, especially if you're a person who's looking for someone to grow in a relationship. They're probably not growing because they haven't learned anything. They're just pushing everything off to someone else. The next one would be are they overly controlling? Are they in your phone? Now, I'm not saying as a man you should be hiding stuff that you shouldn't be looking at, but are they, let me see your phone, give me your password, I want this, I want that. And they're overly controlling, and they're sensitive to things that they cannot control. Where are you going? You're not here at certain time, and you said you was gonna be here. And you want to watch out for that, because a relationship is not going to fix those type of problems. And definitely if you're dating to get married, that's even going to get bigger. You don't want to enter a relationship where the red flags are definitely clear up front that this person has trust issues for whatever reason. Again, you can't change the person, so it's definitely a red sign, but it's probably saying that that person needs to take time to heal versus jumping into another relationship. You want to be able to watch out for someone who's overly controlling. Now, you want to be able to set clear boundaries, and healthy boundaries at that. You honestly shouldn't be sneaking off or coming in at 3 o'clock in the morning from the club if you're committed to your wife or your fiance, and I'm going backwards, your girlfriend, whatever it is. She should be able to trust you. But after you are assuming you're a trustworthy person, because that's who I'm talking to, she shouldn't be overly controlling about that. So this is not for my men who are just trying to use this as an excuse to go wild and wilding out. And yeah, no, it's not that at all. Question for you today is, have you ever been in a relationship where you feel like you're being controlled? Put it in the comments below and let's talk about it. The next one, and if you're counting, we're at number 4. They're overly secretive. And this means that they're hiding something. They may even have an extra phone. They're not letting you, whenever the phone calls, is let me walk into the other room. They're being overly secret. And you know it's not your birthday coming up soon. It's nothing like that, but this is how they always are. A good relationship is based on transparency. And again, these are not always like the day one thing, but after you've gotten into a relationship, you're trying to get to know her, your friends, whatever, and friends as you're getting to dating, not friends that you put yourself in a friend zone. Your friends, you're moving up to this might be the person I want to be girlfriend, to move on, might be marriage material. We're going to take that journey. As you're taking that journey, if she's being secretive and she's not offering any transparency, that's not a good sign. That is a red flag for your future. That means she probably wants something else from you, but she's not really ready to commit. Or again, like all of us, she may have been through a traumatic relationship and experience, and she's learned to keep stuff close to the vest. And these are things that you can't change. It's something that she has to go and get work for. And again, you can't change a person who doesn't want to change. They need to want to change themselves. So these are some red flags, especially in the beginning of the relationship. It's not your job to come in and be like, I want her because I can fix her up. No, that's not your job. But you got to remember that, and actually with all these red flags, and that's the reason why we get tripped up in these red flags, is because we're like, I'm going to fix this one part. Now, there's no perfect person, but there shouldn't be a person with these types of things where they're secretive, that they're keeping stuff from, that they're over controlling. No, that's not working together to actually have a relationship. Those are not the things. Somebody maybe put the toilet seat down is a kind of thing that you work on together. Keep those things in mind. The next thing is they disrespect your boundaries. And I've said this in my other videos, especially when it comes to sex. I am not for having sex during dating. I'm not actually having sex before you get married. But if they don't respect your boundaries, that means they're not going to respect, in one area, they're not going to respect your boundaries in other areas. That means it's not going to be good for you because you're never going to have boundaries. I just need to be up under you. No, a healthy relationship, you have friends outside of your relationships and they have friends outside. You have family outside. You're not just this closed box where it's, okay, there's no boundaries. There's no space. I can't be apart from you. No, there's times where you're together and you're committed to all of that stuff. And there's times when you're still committed to her, but you're taking a breath. You're going to play soccer, football, whatever it is, frisbee, I don't care. You're doing something outside. And if she doesn't honor that boundaries and she's calling, what are you doing? I'm in the middle of the game. I told you I was going to be from 2 to 5. I'm here. And she trusts you, but she doesn't accept your boundaries. That is problematic, especially if you see it in the dating, and it will actually just get bigger after you get married. The next one is number 6, is they rush to intimacy. And I know that I'm talking to my separated, my divorced men, but honestly, a lot of these points, and especially this one, goes to my women. My heart goes out to people who rush their intimacy. And it's a bad thing to rush your intimacy. Oh, I love them. Oh, I'm so attracted. I'm so sexually attracted to them. Let me kiss, love, and get in the bed with them. You actually devalue your relationship. You devalue the time it takes to get to know someone. You devalue a lot of things, because once you start having sex, a lot of those stuff, the cloud gets there, you can't see anything. This can even happen in dating, but it will definitely happen once you have sex, and you won't be able to see the real person when that cloud goes away, because it will go away. The bubble busts, the honeymoon phase goes over, the first big argument where you see the true colors of the person comes out, and you're deep into the relationship, your heart's already there. It becomes a hard thing. The only thing that you both should do is to be able to focus on the speed that and agree with that. So take things slow is honestly my recommendation. Go through the levels of, is this person emotionally, can I connect emotionally with them, intellectually with them, spiritually with them? Can we pray together and things like that? Way before you get married and then have sex. If you put the sex first, then all the other important things that actually hold the relationships together during hard times are never tested, are not there, or they're not even seen until it's the wrong time. Oh, we've been together for so many months and many years, and boom, this thing happened, and she's not dependable. But the sex was good. Yeah, it's not a win-win situation in that situation. Number 7, they are not interested in your life. And you may not see it, but you'll see somebody and they're like, oh, I'm on the, hello, my girl. Hold on 1 second. They're on their phone all the time. And this is our generation of time. It's everybody's on their phone. You go to dinner, instead of talking, you're on your phone. And that's honestly a bad thing. All of us do, but it's really bad, especially if that's the first part of your relationship, because there's nothing to put it together. It's not good in your relationship at all. You need to be interested in the person. How was their day? How was their job? What are the interests? What's the future? But if you're not even interested in the basic stuff, then they're probably in it for one thing. And this goes for men and women. It could just be for sex. They're not interested in actually being something more. And if you think you're just going to attract them with sex, maybe you win, yay! But again, it goes back into now, what did you win? Did you win a sex relationship? Did you win a good relationship? Yeah, you probably won the sex relationship, even if that feels good. And it is a distraction. I'll talk about that later in other videos. That is a distraction for you. It's not going to end up the way that you think it's going to be. It's not going to be like, oh, I'll just win him over with my private parts. Some people say you can win a man over food and get to his stomach, and a whole bunch of those myths and some subconscious things like, oh, I just win him over with having good. You hear it in the music all the time. I just put it down. Yeah, that's not going to end well, even if that time does take a few months to happen. Number 8, gaslighting. And gaslighting is simply that, honestly, I like to put it, they're breathing lies. Gaslighting is where they are so committed to their lie, they're willing to make you think you're crazy. You're like, that tree is orange. It's green. It's orange. That flower is gray. It's like, oh my goodness, am I colorblind? They're committed to what it is. That can be stuff as simple as, I told you what my birthday was, and they never did. Or I told you what I wanted, and they never did. But they know they're wrong, but they're going to make sure that you believe that you're wrong and that they're going to stay right. Now, this is very toxic behavior, and this is not only a red flag, it actually is so toxic that it can be considered a form of abuse, because it's going to make you question yourself to the point where you start questioning a lot of different things in life. You can't trust yourself to do simple things. This is definitely a red flag. Honestly, it's one of my highest that's happened to me a lot before, where, no, I didn't start this argument. You said this. I don't know. It's not only my pet peeve, it's something that I actually had to get healing from. It is very dangerous. And if you see this sign, run for the hills. Number 9, they're constantly canceling plans. Like at the last minute, not just, oh, I can't make it. Canceling plans may give you other signals, like maybe they just don't want to go out with you. But canceling plans at the last minute, last second, shows that they're inconsistent. And again, a good relationship, if you're looking for a good relationship, don't ignore this red flag, because they're not dependable. They're not consistent. They're not constant. You need consistency in your relationships to make it thrive. You don't want to wake up one day, from this woman or man who's, giving you love and showing you love, and then, they're taking you through hell and they're canceling plans. They're like, oh, I was going to be there. I said I was going to be there as your friend of you, and so we can introduce ourselves and talk. Oh, I canceled last minute. Okay, yeah, you don't want to be with somebody like that. That is something that you really need to pay attention to. Consider the red flag. Do not ignore it. You have to be the judge. If you see it once and they're a doctor and they got an emergency call, that is something different. But and it's something to keep in mind, is that a person that you want to marry? Not that they're a bad person, but do they go with your rhythm of life? Are you going to be okay with that? Because they can be a good person in this particular respect, as far as canceling. I had an emergency, I had to go operate, I had to go save this life. Are you okay with that? Maybe you are, and that's not a bad thing. But that's completely different from somebody just, oh, I'm canceling plans because the truth is they forgot, they didn't care, they're not even dressed. It started at 8 o'clock, it's 8:15, they're still in bed, maybe jumping into the shower. Whatever it is, they're not going to be there for you. And a good relationship needs that consistency to thrive. Number 10, I'm glad for all you guys that waited to number 10. Yeah, you made it. It would be that their actions do not line up with their words. There's different situations where it can be like, oh, I'm going to go be a doctor one day. I'm going to go to school one day. I'm going to do this. And a lot of you guys are in your 30s and 40, and we like to, oh, this is the person I want to be with. They're going to do it one day. This is not a good sign. They don't line up. Now, this is different from a person who's maybe made in corporate and shifting over to business, and they're stumbling, they're working, but they're not giving up because they've already proved that they don't give up, but they're trying over here. This is different versus the person that says, I'm going to do that, and they've never left their mama's house. They never left I'm going to travel the world, and they've never left their corner of the city. These are things that are like, okay, you're not lining up with who you say you are. You're not the world traveler. You're not going to have it one day. You might, but I'm not the fixer up. I'm not going to be like, oh, yeah, here. No, if you're already there and you're trying to align with somebody like that, and this is all about alignment, you're trying to align with somebody who has Christian values or who's an entrepreneur, who's a world traveler, and I'm making it up because that's who you want to be. Talk about moving to different countries, and if you get with somebody and they don't want to move out of their city, yeah, that's actually a red flag in a relationship. Doesn't mean they're a bad person. They're just not aligning with you. But you have to be able to pay attention to things like that. So you guys, I am glad that you made it to the number 10. Those are the 10 things, and of course there are more, but those are the 10 red flags that I think you guys should be aware about. But before you go, wait. I want you guys to click on the link to get the ebook, the free ebook that will actually help you on your journey. Again, it's a game changer. The 7 signs you're with a narcissist. This is definitely for those who are in a relationship that are trying to figure out, why are things always haywire? Why is this high, these drastic highs, these drastic lows, and I'm in love one day and I'm being hated the next. So you want to check that out. And for you guys, I want you to like, comment, and subscribe, support the channel, share the videos. I also want to pray that the Holy Spirit guides you towards finding a respectful, loving partner along your journey. Until next time, I'll see you on the other side.